Hey everybody, just down here cutting those big tomatoes I was bragging about in that other video, and man, they're big, I'm not kidding. They're really great. So I was down here doing that. We got kind of an overcast day today, and I thought I'd show you some stuff too about parts per million and pH. You know, I'm no authority. This is my first year, but in this first year I seem to have gotten a handle on that, and I just want to kind of share that with you. It's easy, guys. It's just so easy. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to see what these things are weighing, and then we'll get on with that ppm stuff. I'll show you my meters too. All right, let's see what these guys weigh. Well, all right, let's see what they weigh. I'm thinking at least half pound. That's a nice tomato. Man, I've never done anything this good, guys. All right. I bought this digital scale for Lenka last Christmas with a new welder and a drill press and an electric. Okay, no, not really. I bought her the scale though. Now, let's see what she weighs. 10 ounces and 3/8. That's what I'm talking about. Man, I'm so happy with that. That's crazy. That's wonderful. 10 ounces and a quarter. Man, I tell you, I'm coming for you, Bobby. I'm coming for you, son. I saw Bob, MHP gardener, weighing a tomato one time that was well over a pound, so I'm just messing with Bobby. I'm real happy with this. This is great. So anyway, listen about that parts per million thing and all that. I was asked a question the other day on the comments whether I, watch my parts per million and my pH, and yeah, I do. Not like a hawk, but every 3 days I check the parts per million and the pH. Honestly, it's lately I haven't even really been too concerned about the pH. It just seems to stay so stable. But then I have freshwater reservoirs hooked to my nutrient tank too. And that's the key, and I'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, yeah, I was asked what kind of parts per million meter I use. I use 2 of them. There's a little Hannah one. This is digital, and this one breaks it down. Oh geez, you can go in increments of 10 parts per million. This breaks it into 100 parts per million, or 50 parts. Well, I'll show you how it works here. But anyway, yeah, DioMine11 asked me this question, and I tried answering to you, bro, as good as I can, but 500 words, man. And I'm a long-winded. Anyway, so I thought I'd do this video about this today. Anyway, so what I did is I just chucked a little nutrients into this glass with some water, just a pinch, just for the heck of it, and we'll see what they are. And I thought I'd show you so that you can see how this meter works. Okay, 220 parts per million. Okay, and this guy, see, it's showing 200 parts per million. I don't know if you can see that guy blinking. I hope so. Anyway, so that's what I was saying. This one goes in increments of 100, but if it's 150 or 150 over, it'll blink from 100 to 200. So like you're in that range. It's really awesome. I love this thing. It's really good for the deep reservoirs. You can use it as a stir stick, and I've tested it against this meter and a friend's meter, and it's dead on it. Well, between 100 and 150, or that 50 anyway. And the parts, my pH meter is just one of these little guys like this. $60, something like that. They're probably way cheaper in the States, guys, way cheaper. But anyway, what I'm finding with this whole parts per million thing and the pH deal is that I was really battling it at first, because I just had a reservoir with no backup reservoir, no float valve keeping my water level the same. So what would happen is on a warm day, the plants would just be sucking up the water, but not the nutrients. They couldn't eat that much. So they're just using up the water like crazy. So then when I'd check it later, my readings, man, they didn't really mean that much, except for the parts per million were like through the roof. Less water, parts per million concentrate, and your pH will go straight down. Straight down. If you're using, you know, like GH newts. Now I know advanced nutrients, everything I'm saying, it just goes in the opposite, but that's only because their nutrients are basic by nature. Advanced nutrients are very acidic. You put 1 teaspoon of GH newts in a gallon of water and it'll drop to 4.4 to 4.3 every time, dead on, bang, always. So then you've got to bring her up with pH up, which is in basic. I use the General Hydroponics dry pH up just because it's easy and it works good, and God, you barely have to measure. It's good. But anyway, what I found is when I put my freshwater reservoir onto all of the tanks in here, I got 4 reservoirs going in here now, my problems ended. All of my problems ended. My pH completely remained stable. It just remains stable. Here and there you might have to touch it a little bit up or something, or up, down, you know, depending on what they're doing with the nutrients, because as they're eating nutrients, the pH is going to change too. But there's an area that I found is like, I kind of call it equilibrium, that when the plants are using the nutrients at a good level and they're transpiring the amount of water like this, you can see the pH and the parts per million shifting simultaneously. And that's when I feel, anyway, that I know they're just using that amount of nutrients, water level staying good, my pH remains stable. Honestly, guys, without those freshwater nutrients, it was a mess for me. And what I'd find is my parts per million were always climbing, my pH was always going south, always. Invariably, like within days, 3 days, bang, it's gone. And especially with pH, you know, you got to really be patient measuring that, because a lot of times you'll throw something in the reservoir and a lot of guys will forget that, oh man, that's circulating throughout the whole garden too. So, you know, when I make adjustments to my tank, I shut my system down, I shut my pumps down and let that reservoir fill up with everything. I do my readings and my adjustments then. Because everything that's in the system too is going to have the same water content as here because of the reservoir. So anyway, that's why I do it. Makes it super easy, super easy. So yeah, if you're finding this problem, just maybe try hooking up that reservoir like I did. I'm telling you guys, I got no more problems with this. My pH stays at 6 all the time. And when I take a reading every 3 days now, I can see exactly how much my plants are eating. You know, instead of my parts per million going crazy and then throwing water in and then wondering and guessing, where am I at? I don't. They have that volume of water to always work with, and the nutrients in there, so you can watch the nutrients just leaving. So you can see, hey, give them a little more, give them a little less. I also found too, if you're feeding them too much, your parts per million wants to rise on you and your pH will go down. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you the kind of meters I'm using. Nothing fancy, guys. They're relatively cheap. I don't know, $100. I kind of find that expensive, but you know, whatever. It's not expensive when you think of the rewards that you're getting for doing this, just, you know, in the good time spent. Anyway, guys, I thought I'd run that by you. Bobby, you watch it, bro. Next year, woo! All right, y'all. That's all I got for today. Till next time, guys. We'll see y'all later. Be good to one another. Be good to one another.